Welcome to New York's #2 sports show. The Rangers bounce back and defeat the Los Angeles Kings, giving them their first regulation road loss of the season. Now, when I was doing the last episode against the Capitals, I had talked about the Kings-Islanders game, and when I was first talking about it, it was 2-0 Kings, and it was 2-1. Well, the Islanders ended up coming back and beating the Kings in overtime, so that snapped the Kings, what were they, 11-0 at the time on the road. So the Islanders gave them their first overall road loss, and the Rangers now give the Kings their first regulation road loss. And there's a lot of Kings parallels in this game. Jonathan Quick, for the first time against his former team. I mean, Jonathan Quick is, going to make the Hall of Fame. He's a two-time Cup winner. I believe one of them was a Conn Smythe. I think the one against in 2012. He won the Conn Smythe. I'm almost positive for the Kings. I mean, this is someone who, will always be remembered as the Los Angeles King. And the way that he left was kind of tough. They traded him to Columbus, and then he never played a game for Columbus. They traded him quickly over to Vegas. So, got to be a little bit weird for him, but he really was very good. And he's been playing very well. But the parallels don't stop there. Jonny Brodzinski was drafted by the Kings, and his first couple of seasons were with LA. Not a whole lot of games played with them. Let me just get the facts straight. Yeah, played like parts of 3 seasons with the Kings. The most he played in a season was 35 games in the 2017-2018 season. And Brodzinski's been in the Ranger organization now. This is his 4th season, and hey, I was a little bit critical of him, and I acknowledge that, look, it's not fair. Brodzinski, shouldn't even be in the position he's in, but he, didn't have a great couple of games against Ottawa and Washington, and he responded tonight. And then the last King parallel, which is the least of them all, is the Rangers made the Elias Anderson trade with the Los Angeles Kings, in which the Kings traded their second-round pick to the Rangers. Who did the Rangers take with that second-round pick? Will Cooley, who scored tonight. But I digress on that. Vincent Trocheck was really good, had 3 primary assists for the Rangers. I thought he was probably their best skater, right? I mean, Quick and Trocheck definitely kind of the stars of this one. But there was a lot going on in this game. A lot of penalties I guess specifically in the third period, there were a ton of penalties. Barclay Goodrow returned and had the full face shield. And look, that was, and I think that meant a lot to his teammates. Clearly he was in a lot of discomfort. And I'm guessing it was some structural, facial, an orbital bone, something of that nature, where it was bad enough to keep him out, where he left that Ottawa game, didn't play against Washington. And, Goodrow's a tough guy that, is going to be in there more nights than not, unless it's what was it? He had, I think, a leg injury that kept him out for a while in 2022, and then he came back in the Carolina. I think he got hurt early in the Pittsburgh series and then came back late in the Carolina series. So, he's a guy that isn't going to miss many games. So good to see him back. But look, the Kings are a good team. They had a tough loss last night to the Islanders, and so I wasn't sure what to expect. As I suspected, Phoenix Copley was in goal, not Cam Talbot for Los Angeles. But I thought this was a pretty good effort for the Rangers, and the first time they faced a little bit of adversity. That they were coming off their first 2-game losing streak of the season. The Rangers have played very well at, as we kind of move along here, the Rangers have played very well at MSG. They're now 9-2 at home. And the only 2 losses were to Nashville and Buffalo. And I believe they said Artemi Panarin has gotten at least a point in all 11 home games, and that streak, continues tonight as he got an assist. But I liked that, some bottom 6 contributors like Nick Bonino made a really nice play on the second goal of the night, a goal scored by Jimmy Vesey. There was a line tweak where so Goodrow comes back in. Riley Nash, after the game, was sent down to Hartford, so that makes sense. So Goodrow back on that line with Vesey and Pitlick. But the change they made was Wheeler moves up with Kreider and Zibanejad, and Brodzinski moves down with Cooley and Bonino. Now, I'm totally fine with the Brodzinski part of it. The issue I have is Wheeler, like, I just can't warm up to him. And look, like, he's had a great career, but I just don't have any faith that he's going to be like someone that this team can really depend on come playoff time. I mean, sure, if he's like, you know, a total depth forward that kind of comes in and out of the lineup, like, I guess that's okay. Not that I think he would even be effective if that were the case. But my thinking is this, and I wonder what everyone thinks. Definitely, you know, in the comment section, let me know. But maybe you try VZ with Kreider and Zibanejad. And there's another conversation to be had. You break up Kreider and Zibanejad. And I'm open to that too. But let's, you know, for this exercise, just say that they are going to be together. Do you maybe try VZ with them? The problem with that is, and I'm kind of like answering my own question, is Wheeler. I don't like Wheeler in a bottom six role. Like, again, I just, like, he's not good enough to be in the top six, but his game is not suited for the bottom six. And so you're just kind of fucked, like, either way. But just based on, like, what is deserved, and, you know, VZ has a little bit of skill and creativity, a little bit, right? Like, when we think about all the bottom six players. And so it's just a thought. And, you know, maybe it happens at some point, but for now, they've kept him down. And at the same time, that's been a good look. That VZ Goodrow Pitlick line has been a very nice fourth line. And I think, again, I don't know whether to call it the fourth line, because you also have that Cooley, Bonino, Brodzinski line. It's kind of, there's a clear, you know, separation between top six and bottom six. But, you know, regardless of all of that, the Rangers find a way tonight, and the power play was key. And it has been lately. I feel like the Ranger 5-on-5 goal scoring has certainly dried up. And the power play was very important tonight. But again, Jonathan Quick was really good. Let's talk about this game. First period, not a whole lot going on. But you know what? The Rangers, I think, concentrated on just playing a smarter game. And they did that. And it led to good things, right? So things were getting out of hand, right? The last, like, 4 or 5 games, it felt like, all right, the Rangers were scoring a lot of goals and there was a lot of chances. But with that came a lot of really bad, chances against. And so they had to kind of get the structure back. And I thought that was more so there in this game. As good as Quick was, and Quick was really important, like in the third period was especially important. But overall, he wasn't tested like crazy. But the first period, not a whole lot to speak of there. There was a couple of penalties. Artemi Panarin, high six Gavrikov at 7:40. I don't believe Gavrikov finished this game. Gavrikov, who got hurt versus the Islanders, yeah, he did not. Now, he's a very important defenseman for the Kings, so that should be noted. Gavrikov is high stick by Panarin. Rangers kill that off. Then in 1937, end of the period, Trevor Moore high sticks Adam Fox. So that Ranger power play is mostly in the second period, but they don't score on it. So it's a scoreless game. I really liked the Rangers' second period. It was really, really solid. And that really won them the game. At 7:51, Doughty slashes Panarin. And Panarin did a good job of drawing. Obviously he took that penalty in the first, but he also drew a couple as well. And on that power play, the Rangers score. It's Mika Zibanejad scoring his 7th goal of the season from Trocheck and Panarin. Really nice passing play. Panarin to Trocheck. Trocheck with a really nice pass. Again, that's a theme here. Trocheck's a big story out of this game. And Zibanejad scores. Look, a lot of Mika's productions on the power play. It's kind of, he has always been a power play producer, but, a few years ago, he would do more even strength. And I want to see more even strength offense production for Mika. But he gets that power play goal. The points have been coming lately for him. And the Rangers take a 1-0 lead. Then at 14:24, Adrian Kempe slashes Tyler Pitlick. The Kings kill that one off. But at 17:27, the Rangers take a 2-0 lead. Jimmy Vesey scores his 6th goal of the season from Bonino. Really nice play by Nick Bonino to keep the puck in the zone with his glove. Puts it down, finds Vesey. A nice pass by Bonino, and Vesey goes 5-hole. And squeaks it by Copley to give the Rangers a 2-0 lead. Again, good bottom six production. And, you don't see Bonino much in the score sheet, but that play, that was really all him. And also give VZ credit for making a nice little move. Maybe Copley, kind of squirted by him a little bit. But either way, Rangers take a 2-0 lead. there. Then at 18:49, Mikey Anderson holds Panarin, so another power play from one period to the next for the Rangers. But like the other one, it's killed off by the Kings. Then at 2:47, Adam Fox trips Carl Gunstrom. For Fox, he's still trying to find his game. I definitely, he's not the same as he was, but hopefully with time it gets there. And again, it wasn't, there was still a lot of good with Fox, but obviously we're used to him, again, Norris levels. And that is certainly not there right now, but luckily there's a ways to go, and hopefully he will eventually get there. Rangers do kill that off. Before that one ends, you have a couple of matching minors. Dubois called for interference and Lindgren called for embellishment. I've said this before on this channel and in previous episodes that I don't, it's got to be one or the other. How is Dubois shoves Lindgren? Okay, so is it interference or is it embellishment? I just never conceptually and logically understood how that makes any sense, but I digress. Then at 5:26, they call Trocheck for interference on Drew Doughty, which was a pretty questionable call. And with that, Mika Zibanejad is called for a 10-minute misconduct. So I think what happened is I think he must have complained to the refs, and they gave him a 10-minute misconduct, which, so at that moment, you have no Trocheck, you have no Zibanejad, you have no Lindgren, and it actually gets even worse in terms of who is in the box. And for Zibanejad, it's 10 minutes. Then at 5:42, Jonathan Quick is called for roughing Quinton Byfield, and Byfield's called for slashing Jonathan Quick. So Keandre Miller serves that penalty. It has to be someone that serves it for Quick, which was an interesting decision. And I guess the reason there was because they already lost Trocheck and Zibanejad, but you had already lost Lindgren. So it puts them in a spot where you need to have Gustafsson and Schneider kill penalties. Schneider, we've seen it. Gustafsson, not as much, but either way, it's not ideal. And it does lead to the Kings' one goal. It's a power play goal. And also, I should mention, Kevin Fiala, he's called for a 10-minute misconduct at 5:42. Things just got out of hand, and a lot of penalties were called in the third period. But the Kings at 6:37 score a power play goal. Philip Deneau, who, similar to Goodrow, had gotten hit with the puck to the face earlier in the game, but he came back with the face shield. He scores in the power play. His 7th of the season from Kempe and Kopitar makes it 2-1. And at that point, this game really could have turned, and Quick made some really good saves to keep it at 2-1. Eventually, at 9:57, Kempe gets 4 minutes for roughing, and Lafreniere gets 2 minutes for roughing. So that leads to Ranger power play, and they score on it. Keep in mind, Zibanejad's still in the box, so Jonny Brodzinski takes the spot of Zibanejad. Now, that made sense in terms of handedness. Also, Lafreniere was in the box, so you couldn't go to him. So they go to Brodzinski, and sure enough, he has a little bit of room, a really nice pass by Trocheck, and Brodzinski scores his first goal of the season, a power play goal to give the Rangers a 3-run lead, give Adam Fox the other assist. But Vincent Trocheck at that point with 2 primary assists, and he wouldn't stop there. At 15:24, Will Cooley scores his 5th of the season from Trocheck and Brodzinski. So Brodzinski a goal and assist, Trocheck with 3 assists, and the Rangers would win 4-1. And Jonathan Quick is now 8-0-1 on the season. If you had told me that, I would not have believed you. There's just no way. He's 8-0-1 and has been good doing it, right? I would say lately, he had been giving up some goals, but look, the record is what the record is. And so you're at a point now where I'm not making any declaration. Look, Igor Shesterkin is your starter. That just is what it is. But not even talking about back-to-backs. Back-to-backs are going to split the action, but just in general, this is going to be, and this will probably prove beneficial down the road, is you're going to see a lot of Jonathan Quick, and deservedly so. Igor, it's been a little bit of a rough go this season. Do I still have faith in him? Absolutely. But let's just call it as we see it. Jonathan Quick is going to get a lot of playing time. He's playing well. And so I think we're going to see, and it's kind of been that way anyway, I guess, but we're going to see a 50-50, maybe 60-40 Igor to Quick split. And, all that said, next game is home against Toronto Tuesday night. And that's where things, I guess, kind of get interesting when you think about it. I'll still say I think it would be Igor that would go. They don't play again until Friday. So at that point, if you don't go with Igor, that's a week off. I don't think you want to go that route. I think you want to get Igor in there, have him feel good. So that would be the expectation. But as soon as you see Quick in a situation like that, then you do start talking like, wow, like, okay, like that's different, right? Because you wouldn't normally see Quick go 2 in a row, barring some weird scheduling quirk. So again, something to kind of keep in mind, but I'd say a good situation either way. So Rangers win 4-1, a nice bounce back effort from the Blue Shirts, who sported their new third jersey. I wasn't a big fan of it, to be honest. Did not like this third jersey. This is the first of 10 times they're going to wear it, and I didn't really care much for it. But hey, at least they won in it, so I'll take that. And as far as like the overall league standings, the Rangers on a points percentage basis are technically in first place. Them and the Bruins are tied at 750 point percentage, which is incredible. But technically the Rangers are ahead of them. Again, like all that right now doesn't mean anything. And in fact, the Rangers actually play Boston on Saturday, but the Rangers have a couple of games before that. Home against Toronto Tuesday, home against Anaheim Friday. The Maple Leaf one, that'll be an interesting game. They have been playing well lately, but they do have a lot of injuries, and they also play the Islanders tomorrow night, so maybe you get, a Toronto team that's a little bit banged and bruised, but we shall see how it goes. Again, Jonathan Quick, first game against his former team, the Los Angeles Kings. He gets the job done, helps the Rangers get the victory. They beat the Kings 4-1.